Hey guys, Ultra Maximus back with another Transformers review. This time we're taking a look at another Transformers Generations figure, and it is the final figure to be released in the thrilling 30th anniversary line, and it's a fan-made figure, Windblade. And this character is unique in the fact that this is the first time Hasbro has come to the fan base and asked, what do you want? Do you want an Autobot, a Decepticon, what alt mode, a male, a female? And they ask these questions, composited them together, and this is the result. Windblade, which is very cool. She kind of has this geisha look going on to me. We'll zoom in on the artwork here in a minute and kind of get a look at that. And really reminds me of that episode of the G1 cartoon with Perceptor when they basically put his spark, they take his Autobot logo and put it on a robotic geisha character named, I think it was Ninjiku. It was the last episode Perceptor was in. For some reason, this really reminds me of that. And that's pretty cool stuff. I mean, she's definitely interesting. So looking at the package itself, it's basically the same thing we've received throughout the entire line, the same look. We do get a free IDW comic as the backdrop, which was a great gimmick. I really enjoyed getting a comic book with my figure for the total price of the figure. Great idea. I hope they continue to do that in the future. And, you know, we got the character in the bubble, we've got the alt mode, and the final 30th anniversary logo here. Just kind of a quick close-up. Here's the final 30th logo, and her name, Windblade. The side of the package, just like the others, we got, she is Series 2, figure number 19, with an Autobot logo, and she is an Autobot. Just kind of some close-up of the art there. There is Windblade, and as you can see, very Japanese, kind of a cross between a geisha and maybe a samurai warrior or something. So very cool stuff. Other figures that you can get in this line, we've got G-Axis and Nightbeat. Both are kind of so-so to me. I really wish they would have painted G-Axis in the proper colors. I am not liking the orange at all, so I passed on it. They repaint him in his original colors. I may pick that one up. So here's the back of the package, just like all the others, robot mode, jet mode, the 30th anniversary logo, tech specs, write-up, all that kind of good stuff. So looking at her tech specs, there they are. If you want to pause and read that, you may. Here is her bio. If you want to pause and read that, you may. And she is figure 30 of 30. So the cycle has been complete. So we'll take a look at her out of the package, look at her robot mode, look at her jet mode, see what we think of them, and then we'll compare her to the first figure released in this series to see figure 1 of 30 all the way to figure 30 of 30 and see where we've gone this year. So let's get Windblade out of package. Alright, so here we have Windblade out of package, looking really darn cool. But first, let's take a look at the comic book itself. It is a reprint of the IDW series Dark Energon or Dark Cybertron. I forget the name of the exact series, but I was wrong, people. She does make an appearance in the comic, and she kind of goes on with Ultra Magnus, talking about Metroplex and making the connection with Metroplex, which is part of her bio, which is very cool. In fact, there's a third-party company that is putting together a Legends class version of this figure so that you can keep it with your Metroplex Generations figure. So looking at her specifically, I'll zoom in just a little, she is very cool. Now, I do have her set up a little different. The wings are supposed to be pinned back a little bit more, I think, and then these side pieces are supposed to be going more upright. I think this looks a little bit cooler, and I flipped her little turbines on her wings around so that we can see them. Again, I just think it looked a little bit nicer. I've got her in a posed mode, or position, I guess, because she's got this huge, humongous sword, which is very cool. The issue is if you attach the sword sheath to her hip, like I've done here, she can't stand upright. You've got to put her in a pose to get it to balance properly. And with her tiny little feet, that can be interesting. Not to say it can't be done. It most assuredly can, but be aware of that when you are using the figure. Now, it may be a little bit lighter when I get the sword out. We shall see. The joints on this figure are actually really, really nice. They've been very stiff except for the heels on her boots. Those are a little bit loose, so when I'm trying to do dynamic poses, they do tend to want to fold up. Not that big of a deal, but overall, I really do like the figure. She is very, very delicate and very, very petite, but she looks very menacing. So just kind of a close-up of her face real quick. Yeah, I really, really do like the figure. I love the tiny little Autobot logo. I love the colors. I like the black. I like the silver-ish metallic blue. Her face sculpt is immaculate. And just to kind of pull up really, really close, I mean, she's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's very well done. I think the detail is magnificent. I like the yellow and blue paint picks up in the top of the headdress there. Looks really, really nice. And then she's got this gold piece on the back, very reminiscent of Japanese. Just absolutely awesome. I really do appreciate that. The other cool thing is her little turbines move. And they're kind of in a nice pearl color, painted color, which is very cool. I'm going to take the sword off. Yeah, overall, body sculpt, really cool. Very, very nice. Get it focused in here. Maybe. Oh, focus. There we go. Just really well done. I like the figure a lot. I think they did a very good job with her. If I can get her to stand. Now I got the sword out. There we go. So there's the backside. I mean, it's not much going on there. We got a little bit of a jet nose hanging off the back. Other than that, not that big of a deal. So there she is again from the front. Yeah, I mean, I really like the figure. They did a very good job with her. She looks very Decepticon-y to me. I'm sure we're going to see a repaint in this figure as a Decepticon, which is not a bad thing for me. Looking at the sword itself, I mean, it's just in the really nice detail in the sheath. There's the plastic bit right there that will go into the thigh. If you look on her thigh, she has this little piece, and that is on both sides. So you can put the sword either way that you want, if you want her to be right or left-handed. She also has this little kind of see-through turbine that mimics her wings, which is very cool. And then the sword simply pulls out like that. So here it is. And it is gorgeous. I love this thing. I like the translucent purple into clear. I mean, it just looks like a nice energy sword. They did a spectacular job with that. So let's go ahead and put the sword into her hands and see what kind of pose we can strike with her. Alright, so here we have her holding the sword and the sheath as she's just pulled it out. Looking really cool. Again, it's a balancing act with this weapon piece because of the weight of the sheath. But she looks really, really cool. Articulation is pretty good. She's got joints at her shoulders there. Her elbows do move. She's got a ball joint on her head, but it's a little, you know, so-so because of the collar up around her neck itself and then the headdress. She does have her hips, she's got her knees, and then the biggest thing is on her feet, because she's in those kind of high boots, and they're so thin it can make stability an issue. But once you get it posed right and balanced proper, it looks really, really cool. So let's go ahead and get her over into her jet mode and see what we think about that. Alright, so here we have Windblade in her jet mode, and it's okay. I will say this is a rather difficult figure to transform because of such the small parts and the tightness of the joints right here in the wings. The most difficult part about getting this thing transformed, getting these pieces connected in up here by the nose cone, which this one still doesn't like to exactly connect in there, and then getting the legs bent proper so that the wing will go straight and then clip in back here. Once you get this wing piece aligned right, it goes together pretty well. The other issue that I've got is on the tail here, as you can see, it's split just a little. It doesn't want to go completely closed. I mean, that's just kind of a nitpick. It's just kind of a softer rubber. Overall, I mean, the jet is okay. It reminds me a lot of Thrust because of the turbines on it. Not too terribly bad from the back. We have the two jet ports. It does have a gap right there, which is unfortunate. However, that does get hidden. You can take the weapon piece right here and connect it there. The issue is you've got, you know, and that kind of connects up in there. Let's see if I can get that in. So it does help a little bit. Not too terribly much, and then you've got that piece kind of hanging off of the back. I mean, it is what it is. It does have folding land gear, which is really cool. I like the nose cone of the jet itself. Looks really, really nice. They did a good job with it. The other cool thing is the turbines will move, which is pretty darn cool. That's something that the Thrust figure cannot do. I really appreciate that. If they do another Thrust, I hope they use that on his figure, because that's a really, really handy little gimmick. I like that. I think that's fun. Yeah, overall, it's an okay jet mode. She does have her arms just kind of hanging out and about on the bottom, which is a little unfortunate. I wish the rear landing gear were painted black instead of red, but overall, I can't complain too terribly much. Not a bad jet mode at all. Alright, so here we have figure 1 of 30 Metroplex with figure 30 of 30 Windblade together, and that's pretty awesome. I like the two together. It's very fun. They have a lot of black, a lot of red, and a lot of white, which is very cool, and they're in reverse color, so it kind of completes out the cycle, which is very nice. Let's get a close-up of the two together and get some final thoughts. Alright, so here we have the first figure of 30, the Titan Metroplex, which is a fan favorite figure and the largest Transformer we have gotten from Hasbro to date. And on his shoulder we have Windblade, the 30th of 30 figures, and a fan-created figure from Hasbro. So this is kind of a fun little, you know, combination of the two. Of course, in the comic book, Windblade has a connection to Metroplex, which is very nice, and I like how they are in polar opposites of the line, as their colors basically are polar opposites, red, white, and black. So definitely cool stuff. This has been a fun year. As a collector, I have really enjoyed the line. There have been some amazing figures come out, and there have been a few disappointments, but overall, I am satisfied. So what are we getting next year? We've got the Combiner Wars. We're continuing the Generations line with some really nice looking figures, and I think 2015 is definitely going to be a fun year for collectors. So there she is, the final figure released in the thrilling 30th anniversary of the Transformers, Windblade. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate it, thumbs it down. Definitely subscribe to my channel and share my videos. I do appreciate it, and as always, look for more videos in the future.